Welcome back to month 3 of the Game After the Game segment of the 3 Girls a Day product, where we bring you live dates. This month I decided to do something a little interesting. I said in the basic product how much I hate the dating site eHarmony, and that remains the case. However, I thought it would be negligent on my part not to go and try and master every dating site. And so this first date that I'm going to bring you actually is from eHarmony. And so I went through the process of figuring that site out, similar to other ones. And it's actually not quite as bad as I thought, although I still do think it's my least favorite dating site. Anyway, let's get into it. So the way eHarmony works, you have 2 options. One is skip straight to email, and the other is to go through their whole questioning process. I'd had not the best of luck with doing skip straight to email before, so this time when I did it, I decided to do it the way that they suggest and go through the questioning process, etc. So I went the long way just to test out the specific functionality of the site. And I went through and answered the questions. And what I noticed on the questions is the way it's set up is they give you a question that the girl sends to you, and then there's 4 multiple choice responses to every one. And all of the answers suck. Pretty much without any sort of exception, the answers suck. And the reason is this. They're trying, when they write the questions, I think, to make all the answers kind of seem like, not that there's one better than the other, because they're trying to get a read on your personality, not some kind of so it's not some kind of value judgment, right? So they're trying to just phrase them all as neutral to value, but you can't do that in the real world. So for example, say the question is how important is work to you? Well, one question is that work is my passion, it's my drive, it's all I focus on, and you say that, you're fucking workaholic. Or the other one's oh yeah, I don't really care about work, I just want to live my life. That looks like a lazy guy who eats potato chips on his mom's couch. And so because you're answering a sort of intimate question in 1 to 2 sentences, you're almost always going to do it wrong. And also, in particular, the questions that girls choose tend to be shit test type questions. They tend to be challenging type questions. And so they are either the type of questions where you're going to look like a total asshole or a total chode. Another one, which is interesting, I think, is the if you were taken to a party where taken by your date to a party where you knew no one, how would you respond to that, right? And one is the antisocial answer of I'd sit against the wall by myself. The other's I'd hang on my partner the whole time, and the others I'd strike out and ignore my partner. And none of those are really right. They're all either weirdly antisocial or weirdly needy or total asshole. So what I found is for almost every question, I actually wrote in my own answers. Now that's a lot of work, but the nice thing is there's only so many questions. I don't know the total number, but I know that it only took me, maybe between messaging maybe 10 girls before I had an answer to almost everyone that came up. So once you've written the answers once, they're kind of written for life. And if you're going to do this as a strategy, it's worth doing it. Think of it this way. On eHarmony, the profile is far less extensive than on other sites. And so people aren't judging you as much based on that, although you still want to do a good job with it, and you still want to make sure that you're together on that. But doing these questions is similar to the effort you would have put in on your profile or on some of the about me questions on a typical dating profile. So just put in the time that way. So anyway, what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to read them off to you and just give you my answers. I'm not going to try and go in depth explaining every single one because that would take forever. And also because I kind of gave you the explanation already, which is you want to pass the shit test, or you want to give your answer, but you don't want to be super polarized one way or the other. You kind of want to take the middle ground. And a lot of times what I'll do is I'll even mention in my answer that I answered a different question, or just take a sort of a different spin on it, because a lot of the questions themselves are sort of trappy. Now, it is kind of a pain in the ass doing all this, but think of it this way. Most of the guys that are on these sites are basically chodes. They basically don't know how to communicate with women in a way that triggers emotions, and so they're going to be responding with the generic responses and just boring the shit out of women. So in a way, it's a pain in the ass. In another way, it's a great way for you to stand out. Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to read off to you each of my answers as we go through the process. So this girl's first question was, if you decided to stay at home for the evening, you would tend to, and it gives a bunch of activities you could do. So I say, of those most likely read, though all besides cleaning are possible, I pay people for that. So it's basically saying this is a dumb question, but it also has a little bit of asshole thrown in there just because I like to convey that in my answers. Second question is, which of the following scenarios would make you more nervous? And it gives a bunch of sort of socially awkward sort of scenarios. And all of them to me made me look like a weak, pathetic man, so I just said none of the above. I make presentations all the time. I'm perfectly comfortable in silence. If you're my lover, I have nothing to hide for you, and I am the president. Oh, and I am the president of my company. Because one of them was a meeting with the president of your company. So again, just disavowing them because I was all of those are pathetic. Fuck that, that's not me. So again, it's a write-in. Which best describes your attitude towards work? So this is the one I gave you the example of, where you don't want to appear like a workaholic. You also don't want to appear lazy. So I say, I love every minute and derive great satisfaction and success from it, but I prefer not working. So it's saying like, I am successful at work, but I'm not a workaholic. Next question she asks is, how romantic are you? And my answer here again, because all the like options they give you are extremely, extremely cheesy and like really kind of pathetic sounding. So I said completely, but not in a Disney Hollywood way, in a live life and love to the fullest Henry David Thoreau kind of way. So yes, I'm completely romantic, but not in that corny Hollywood way, et cetera, et cetera. So again, it allows me to say yes, which is like, and no girl is like wants you to say I'm not romantic. No girl ever wants you to say that, but then all the examples they give are like fucking pathetic. So those also lose. So again, avoid that trap. And then the next one, which of the following things would you rather have lots of? And it gives a list of 4 things. And then I say ability because it gets you all 4, which again is the kind of thing that in my mind, a cocky, successful guy would say. So again, I'm conveying cocky, successful, no bullshit, willing to think for myself, and mostly I'm just avoiding all the dumb traps and pitfalls. The next little segment they have here is where you send some of your personal preferences. I think it's your can't stands and must haves. It's just a list of some things. My personal philosophy on this is answer it honestly, but the one thing is within answering it honestly, try not to appear overly reactive or butthurt. Try and answer, like choose questions that make you seem high value, or choose things that don't make you seem low value more particularly. But yeah, be really honest. Don't fuck around with this. Don't try and be someone you're not, because it's hard to guess what every girl's gonna want. So that said, since you have to choose and have to just put it out there, you may as well put the things that are uniquely you, because it increases the chances that the girl you're gonna meet will be compatible. So on this one, I say just be honest, with the one caveat of avoid the butthurt. So as you can see, here's my list right here. So next are longer answers, and here the same principles apply as with any questions or any of the stuff when you're talking about filling out a profile. And again, I consider these questions sort of like your profile. Now the nice thing here, yes, you are writing your own set answers, but fortunately, again, they're choosing for the most part their questions off a list. Some girls will write in their own questions, but it's very rare. Most girls choose them off a list, and if the girl writes in her own questions, you can just decide, is it worth answering these or not, depending how hot the girl is and how much you care, basically. But for the most part, again, once you've answered them once, you've answered them over and over again. So here I'm just going to read them off to you. We'll keep the messages on screen, and I want you to just think about the tone and what I'm trying to do with each of these messages. So without further ado, here we go. So her first question is, looking back on your life, of what are you most proud? So again, I like to be the guy that thinks for himself. I like to be the guy that has his own perspective and doesn't just like follow by the book and answer in a boring, lame, obvious way. I like to be a little shocking and a little bit like make you think about my answers. So whenever possible, I like to take these in a different direction than the intended direction, just ever so slightly. So it's just looking back on your life, of what are you most proud of? Say, well, I hope I have a lot more to look forward to than look back on at this point. But I would say I'm my own greatest accomplishment. Each and every day I work hard on myself to get a little bit better. I'm not sure if that's arrogant or modest, but take it as you will. Okay, so it's arrogant, asshole, cocky, but at the end I'm like, I'm not sure if that's arrogant or modest, so it makes me down to earth. It's the same as when you're writing a profile. You want to have all that like shocking shit and all the stuff that grabs their attention, but at the same time you want to ground it onto the reality so you aren't like this weird caricature cartoon man. You're actually like a legitimate human being. Next question. Describe some personal habits that are important to you. So again, here I'm focusing on conveying myself as an ambitious, successful guy. Ideally, I wouldn't have these two mixed together, but I'm certainly not writing a unique response just to avoid that odd pairing, so I just copy and paste my previous responses. But again, this is another answer of I'm my own greatest achievement, I'm ambitious, I'm successful, because that's the type of character I'm trying to convey. I found that appeals to most girls in general, and also it is very congruent with my own personality. So her question again, describe some personal habits that are important to you. My answer, I pretty much spend 24/7 working on myself or my business in some way. Don't worry, a lot of that is also fun. But I don't respect people who aren't trying to get better in one way or another. Oh, and regular gym and good hygiene are nice also, right? So just like a little joke at the end, right? So yeah, basically, there are other basic things that are important to me as personal habits, like I do brush my teeth, right? It's a little bit of a joke, but it's also like reassuring, because girls online, they are worried about meeting weirdos, so you may as well reassure them there. Last one. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? So again, I'm going the arrogant route on this one. Not all my answers are actually arrogant, but a lot of them do tend to be, just based on the nature of the questions being asked and the nature of what you want to be conveying. Again, it's better to get a reaction and apologize later than not get a reaction. So she said, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be? I say, well, there's always more of the same, i.e. I'm smart but could be smarter, or I'm handsome but I'm not a male supermodel, etc. but things I actually would have different. It'd be nice to have darker skin that tans more easily. It would be nice if I wasn't intrigued by so many things and could focus more. But then again, sometimes I enjoy being unfocused and curious. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with who I am. All right, so again, it's sort of a confident, successful, like together guy who, you know, he's pretty happy with his life, right? But at the same time, not so over the top that it's unbelievable or unreal. So it's a little bit down to earth at the same time. So that's what I'm going for with these, is like cocky but down to earth, and definitely like conveying my unique personality and not just like going with the obvious, simple, stupid answer to the question. Also, you'll notice these are long enough to look like there's some effort put in, but they're not super, super long. That's important as well. Okay, so finally, at the end of all this question bullshit, we get to the place where we can write normal text messages. Now, this was interesting for me because most of my first messages are really, really short. And that makes a lot of sense to me in a normal context. But at this point, you and the girl have put so much effort into getting in touch with each other that like it would be silly to write a short message, especially when you've already written essays earlier on, or she thinks you wrote essays, you copy and pasted essays, but in theory you wrote essays earlier on. So it doesn't make sense to have like a one-sentence email here. So what I did is I took the idea of my closing sequence, because I'm assuming they already like me, kind of just starting that, but doing it in a little bit longer, more flattering way to acknowledge the fact that they've been through this process with me and we've sort of shared a journey together a little bit. So my standard message here, and by the way, interesting to note, every single girl that got to this stage with me ended up giving a number with one exception, and that one exception was because she Googled me, found out what I did for a living, and was kind of freaked out by it. But every girl who didn't Google me, if they got to this stage with me, they did give me a number. So the messaging part on eHarmony is much, much easier. So that's another benefit kind of going through all the like copy and paste bullshit, is that by the time you actually spend your time messaging the girls, they're already very invested. They've already written a lot to you and read a lot of your stuff. So they really want to succeed. They do have an investment there. So anyway, my first message, and this is my standard for first message that I wrote. Might edit it later, but it seems to be working, like I said, 100%. So I guess I won't edit it until it stops working. And here's the message. Hey, little troublemaker. I'm impressed by your class, and of course you were cute enough to catch my attention in the first place. As such, perhaps you should explore the possibility of enhancing your life by means of exposure to my awesomeness. So rather than subjecting you to a further barrage of questions, I have only one more. Are you feeling adventurous? So again, it's very like sort of human and acknowledging that we've been through a process together, acknowledging that I like her, because it'd be hard to say I don't like you after having gone through this many questions. But then I go into the closing sequence, because at this point I can assume she likes me. If she's gone this far, she already assumes, so why waste time? So I start with, are you adventurous? Her response in this case was, hello, smiley face. Yes, I'm always adventurous, LOL. So that response is obviously very positive. It's not really long and invested, but it is complying. It is everything you would normally need in a message. So you can go ahead and continue the closing sequence. Now, I would note that it wasn't super long, so you're not necessarily like, you don't have mountains of social capital here, but you're definitely a good spot. So I'd continue the escalation. So what I wrote was, sounds good. What is your view on drinks and witty banter with cute boys? Totally standard closing sequence, just moving it up, sort of like soft close, multi-step close as you've seen before. So her response was, LOL, I'm not a big drinker, but I like to socialize a lot, and like a little double smiley face. So clearly she likes me. Now clearly she is like a bit more of like a straight edge, don't drink, by the book, by the rules type of girl, which we'll see actually later on the date as well. But she clearly likes me, so no reason not to go ahead and close. So here I said, okay, so pick one. A, grab a coffee. B, play pool. C, wander around somewhere randomly together. And we'll let our collective charisma handle it from there. So again, I'm saying we don't have to drink, but let's do something creative and fun together other than drink, because she's positive on all that. And then her response was, she says, coffee sounds good, smiley face. We can get coffee and wander around at the same time. So then here I just go ahead and close. Sounds good to me. My number is number. What's yours, Todd? And she sends me her number. So the process here of getting the number from after the sort of like scripted conversation occurred was much, much easier because there's all that investment. So that is the one really positive thing about the eHarmony site. So it's not so bad. You can totally do it. There are actually some cute girls on there. The problem is they'll only match you with so many a day, so you're only going to get a certain like sort of slow trickle. So I wouldn't make it your whole online dating experience. It would be like a small part of it. Also, what I've noticed is that it does take a lot longer, like from like starting to getting your first date, because there's so many more steps. So it's kind of annoying that way. And lastly, I think the girls on eHarmony are a bit more conservative and looking more for relationships, as is the stereotype, than others. So if you're not really willing to do that, you're going to run into more issues of that kind, particularly if you're me and any girl who has a really good date with you will Google you. That tends to ruin things. That tends to be the bane of my particular existence. So I like it when I'm in a situation where it's very easy to close the girl on the first date instead of dealing with very conservative girls. The thing with very conservative girls is that it's not like you can't sleep with them, can't have amazing relationships with them. A lot of the girls that I've slept with in my life, and especially in the first like several years that I was in pickup and in dating girls and like going out actively, a lot of them actually I was like the second or third guy they'd ever slept with, and a few they were even virgins. But as I've kind of progressed, I find that my particular energy and views towards sex tend to be a lot more congruent with girls that have been with more than a couple guys, and so usually those girls tend to really bore me. But anyway, this is a procedure, and this is how you can kind of work eHarmony very, very well. So from here, let's cut it to the phone and then the date. Okay, before we get into the phone conversation, I just want to let you know a little context, which is when I texted her, she was very positive, very enthusiastic. So I just went ahead and made tentative plans with her because I had trouble getting her on the phone. Like I'd call, she'd call back, we keep missing each other. So eventually I made tentative plans on the phone, said, hey, let's meet up on Monday, but let's talk first just to make sure, whatever. So that was the whole premise. So then the phone call is very, very quick, very to the point, no bullshit.
Hello?
Okay.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Good. I thought my phone was being creepy. Like it just stopped ringing and there was silence. Like, oh, the ghost answered.
Yeah, finally we talked. I'm in the traffic. I'm going to work right now.
Oh, yeah?
It's like crazy traffic. I'm afraid I'm going to be late because of marathon.
Yeah, I know.
All street is closed.
Yeah.
I left my home like around 5:30.
So you're in your car right now?
But I'm almost here. I'm almost.
Yeah.
I hope so.
You have a very sexy accent, by the way.
Huh?
You have a very sexy accent.
I told you before that I have accent, but sometimes I wish I don't.
Yeah?
When people don't understand me completely.
Yeah, no, I understand you. I have to try a little bit on the phone, but I understand you fine. It's cute.
So if you want, because tomorrow we can meet if you want, because it's my day off.
Okay.
Because I cannot talk for a long time now, because I'm going to start working from 8 p.m.
Yeah, around 6 is good for me. 5:30, 6:30, anything in there is perfect.
Like, I don't know, 7, 6, or whatever is going to be.
Let me look at my schedule and I'll text you a time. But
yeah, anytime after 5, 6 I will be free, because before I have a school, and so after that I'm going to be free.
Okay, perfect. Well, in that case, have a good time at work or do well at work or whatever. And
thank you so much.
I'll talk to you tomorrow and see you tomorrow.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you finally.
Yeah, of course. I look forward to meeting you.
So just let me know tomorrow for sure.
Okay, sounds good. Plan on probably around 6ish, but I'll text you for sure.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, cool. Best of luck with traffic. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
As you can see, not a whole lot to do here. She seemed positive, expressive, willing to talk. Basically just, it was a matter of arranging logistics. It was a matter of more than anything else of just listening to her and being normal. I did make the one sort of compliment on her accent and a little bit of tease, but very, very light. Again, I didn't have that much to do, right? There's no point in taking big risks when things are already going in your favor and it looks very certain to close. I mean, we'd already basically agreed the date. All I had to do was not be weird. So what did I do? I got on the phone and wasn't weird. Set the date, set it up to text her tomorrow and arrange it, and on we go towards the date. Pretty cut and dried, pretty straightforward. So this is a really interesting date. I think this is the first date that I've presented to you where I actually don't walk the girl back into my house in some way, shape, or form. So obviously it's in that way a less successful date than some of the others. However, this is important for you to see because certain times you will have a girl come out on a date and she came to see you, but she does have other plans that she didn't tell you about, or she has to do something in the morning, or she's an inconvenient time, or maybe she's just a girl that is conservative. It's in her blueprints to go on 6 or 7 dates with the guy before sleeping with him. Doesn't mean she'll go on 6 or 7 with you, but she might need a second date with you before just jumping straight into bed. So it's important to note this strategy when you're not trying to necessarily pull the same night, but when you're actually trying to get a date too. So in this case, I noted a few different things. Number one, I noted that this girl seemed to have plans the next day. I noted that she was Russian, which to me is sort of a more conservative-ish culture with dating. Not always, but they do tend to have certain male-female role expectations and certain sort of stigmas and stereotypes about sex more so than American culture might. So I noticed that. And just the vibe she was giving me, which was very positive, but not really getting sexually aroused. She'd talk and she'd share things with me very openly. So she was positive and contributing and investing even into the date going well. But whenever I try and turn things sexual, she just didn't, not that she even said no to it, she just didn't respond to it quite that way. So it was think of it like an oven that needs more time to warm up. That's kind of how I viewed this girl. And so all in all, I looked at the situation and I didn't think I could pull her home that night. Now I did try a little bit at the end. Even you'll see when she was trying to set up plans for the next day, I did mention some stuff about maybe we could do this tonight, and then found out quickly there would be resistance on that. So I went with my initial read and just played for the day too. But I want you to watch exactly how that goes down. How are you?
How are you?
Good, good. Come here.
Nice to meet you.
How does it feel to be ID'd again? I don't want to get you in trouble.
I used to come here, before with my girlfriends.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gross. No fun. Let us not talk about math anymore on this day. All right?
I have math this semester.
If I have to go home to my friends and be like, yeah, she talked about math the whole time, they're like, nope, no second date for her.
You're relaxed person. It's really hard to make me mad unless you're gonna really disrespect my time or something in my life. But stuff like this, I don't know those people. Why would they be mad? They just That's why I always don't want to waste my energy for something like that.
Relax. You seem like you're very, very busy, no?
I'm busy now, but because it's end of semester, But then it's going to be vacation, more than a month.
You just raised yourself in my estimation right there. I love that.
Why?
I don't know. I don't like people who always do exactly by the book and never break the rules and stuff. Good.
At first, when people don't know me, they think I'm serious, but I'm not like this.
Good. Yeah, you surprised me actually.
What?
You're very you're not that serious, but you are more serious than I expected. But you're very exemplary. You have the same diet I do. You work out all the time. It's cool. It's good.
No, I'm not that serious. People, I know everybody think like this because the way I talk, because I'm always kind of talking about right things, and I'm always kind of calm like that. But when people get in me, know me better, it's kind of they say, oh, we say you're so serious, and but you're actually not like that.
Interesting. What is the worst thing you've ever done? Not evil, just like naughty or breaking the rules or something like that.
Probably more than one, but I don't know. I'm sure, but I need to think what was that.
Yeah. It's funny because I really like it when people don't follow rules and they break them a little bit. But that said, most of my life I haven't really done that many bad things. So.
But usually I wear dress like that.
I know.
No, I used to be crazy when I just moved here. Mm-hmm. We used to party. Oh my God! Now.
Really.
I even feel it was different person. It wasn't me because I guess because I was 21 and mm-hmm. This age, every night we went out, drinking, party. Used to come home 10 a.m. Now I go out 2, 3 a.m. I'm already, I want to go home, But I don't have stress, I'm always like that.
You're relaxed, you're chill.
I like this condition. I don't like stress, panic. I have some friends, crazy. They stressing out for everything, and it's really annoying, to be around them. For me, they make me tired. They make me kind of, I don't want. I don't feel it to be around. You know. Did you like the drink?
It was good. I feel like I want to do something active with you, like not just like sit around and talk.
Like what?
I don't know. Well, I already worked out today. You already worked out today, so no. You'd be a fun person to like go to the gym with or whatever though.
Yeah.
Or you'd be a fun person to like. Do you ever?
And
Do you
I'm
ever?
good in gym.
Are you? All right.
Huh?
I said, are you? I like the confidence.
I could be. I know everything.
I saw the muscle. You're a beast.
I do a lot of exercise. Yeah.
Yeah. You play sports as a kid?
Skiing, snowboarding.
Okay. I have to ask, which hair color is your real hair color? You have like the
This
black.
one.
So these are just like little
Oh
streaks.
yeah, my hair is darkened because I did this. It calls ombre, and I toned a little bit. So now they lighter. My hair is really dark, more like black.
I can't decide if you're really like don't like either of these don't mean anything. But what I mean is I can't decide if you're really cool or if you're like a total dork. And I don't mean in terms of like actually, I just mean in terms of perception. Like if you view yourself as like sort of like cool and hipster because you kind of have the whatever, or if you're like just total like dorky nerdy. I literally can't stereotype you.
I don't know.
Nah, I don't know.
I guess you need more time to understand that.
You guessing what?
You need more time to understand that.
You were fat. You had like 2 dimples.
No, I was never fat, but when I was a kid, I was like, those 2 of them. And everybody, you know, when you kid, oh, you're so cute, so cute. I remember I was so always like tired because all adults coming to you and touching you, you know, like, oh, you're so cute, you have dimples. And then one is gone. You know, I don't know how.
Nah, it's
I
like
don't
you're
know
like
how.
halfway cute.
Now I'm only halfway. So you come here all the time to this casino? No, I have exam. That's the problem. If there is no exam, I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
But, you know, if it will be fun, I'm not leaving anyways. You know, if it's boring, you're gonna leave anyway, even if you don't have to do anything tomorrow.
Yeah.
When it's fun, you keep forgetting that you have exam. You're gonna think like, I'm still gonna do fine on my exam. That's how I think.
I agree. Are you competitive?
Yes.
Good. I like that you said yes. I also like the look in your eye when you said yes. Like your eyes like lit up. You're like, yes, I am
Yes,
competitive.
I am. No, really.
Really. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you met me because you're not going to beat me at things. I'm sorry. I'm good for a little bit though because I only ate once today, so 2 drinks is good.
You gotta have more.
Oh yeah?
Got more.
You gonna try and get me drunk and take advantage of me? I want you to know I'm a shy, innocent boy, so, you know, can't get me drunk and take advantage of me, please.
How many drinks you need to drink to be drunk?
4 drinks.
You dance.
I can already dance.
But I like pomegranate wine. Have you ever tried?
Pomegranate one? Never had
I
it.
love
Sounds
it.
good though. Sounds amazing.
It's good. Just more like for flavor, you know, for this like kind of feeling, you know, you can have wine, take like blanket and like watch some movies sometimes. I have a mood for that.
I like that you just said that.
For that.
That
you
was
know?
really cute. What you just said. I like that.
No, it is cute because you know everybody needs time like that, you know. when
Okay,
you
so
just-
if I get to know you, I don't know you that well yet. If we get to know each other, one day we'll do wine and a blanket and a movie.
pomegranate wine.
But we have to take it slow because, like I said, I can't have you just using me for my body. You have to like me for me. It's important.
I like the way they always do this design here with like flowers, so nice. I like this because you know what, it's always like fresh, not loud, you know?
Yeah.
So we'll just pass it and get it done.
Fair enough. So there's a part of me that thinks like, I want to do something active with you. Like you seem like the kind of person
You
that
wanna do hiking?
I would hike with you. I actually like hiking. I don't like carrying backpacks though. Because carrying a backpack,
You
it
can
like,
put it in my bag.
okay, perfect.
Also, because I like it because I like extra weight.
Yeah?
I
Or no? Do you have to go
But
home and
what-
study? One of two things. Either A, I don't know if you play pool. I would actually play pool with you, just if you're any good at it. Or I could show you some videos, show you a little bit about like what I do for a living and that kind of stuff, so you kind of know me. But if you have time, that'd be totally cool. If you don't, then we could totally just like go
Yeah,
do
for
something
me-
another day.
Yeah, I mean it's better because I'm gonna wake up in the morning, like I told you. Because this particular week, it's like everything together, like all my finals.
You seem
But-
you seem like you've been somewhat Americanized. I like it. Like you're okay.
I'm okay.
You're okay.
Thank you.
You're not like
You're
super serious and like, it's okay.
welcome. No,
You're
not
all right.
super serious. If you like, after a while, you will see how your opinion gonna change.
Oh yeah? Good. I'd do it. It's one of those
Yeah,
things
but
to do at some
we
point.
can start from hiking, I think.
I think that's good.
I usually have 2 days off, but next week it's 3, so we can plan for next week for sure. Like
Okay.
hike and we can play pool and we can do all this stuff.
Sounds good to me.
But where you wanna go hiking? You know places, or you want me to choose?
You choose. I don't know.
You wanna go far? Like for example, sometimes I go to Zion. It's like 2 hours, or we can go more closer, like Red Rock.
Go close for now.
Close, yeah. I don't know. We can get some because we're going just for the day.
Exactly.
We can go there, we can take some snacks, and then after we can go and eat something, normal. Because anyway, you cannot get so much food because it's no fridge, nothing, Like some. So yeah, we can go to Red Rock.
Okay. I'll trust you.
You have hiking like shoes or something.
I'll manage.
You can just
I'll be
wear
alright. I'll wear
regular
like
one.
tennis shoes. I'll be good.
Yeah, you don't have to wear like
Good. I think I
Uh-huh.
get back on Monday, so sure.
Yeah, and weekends are perfect because I always working nights. I work till 4 a.m. So basically, my weekends I'm always busy.
Perfect.
Only daytime, but I work.
You're, like,
I'm,
perfect.
Like for example, I work.
I have to close out my tab.
Oh, they didn't clean it.
They'll make me sign something. Make me sign my life away.
And good part of my schedule, I like people who I can, rely on, who can give me good advice, who can like support me sometimes with some it's because I'm the same way.
You're adorable.
You always
I love the like. I love that A, you don't shut up, but you actually talk in interesting ways, so it's good.
No, I'm always,
So you don't bore me too much. It's all right. You're all right.
Sometimes I'm quiet when I'm tired. Today I'm not that tired. You said I look tired, but I'm not tired. No,
Just-
no emotion, no any expression. I'm on the first.
This one?
No.
One up.
First. We're on casino level. No expressions. Just like I don't like it. My mom is coming here all the time. She's mad. She doesn't like sleep. She's like, don't take me to sleep ever. Yes, it's very nice. So I'm gonna text you, or you text. We're gonna decide then about
Yeah. Drive safe. Let me know when you're home,
Yeah.
and I will talk to you soon.
Stay in touch. Yeah.
Be good.
Have fun. Enjoy your night.
Always.
Yes.
You enjoy your enjoy your studying.
Yeah. Study tonight. Party tomorrow.
Sounds good. Take care.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good night. Okay, so as you can see at the end, she's, very invested in, we're going to go hiking, we're going to do this, very invested in trying for the day 2. That said, to me, this girl was extremely, excruciatingly boring, and I couldn't wait to get out of that date fast enough. But I wanted to show it to you for the lesson, so I stuck it out and played it through. Notice that throughout the date, she was willing to do most of the talking, she was willing to carry the conversation, and she was interested, but in a not super sexual way. Right? And then so what I was doing was I was throwing little things in that were making it more relevant to her, more man to woman, more sexual in nature. And some of those got a really positive response, some got a neutral response, but none got a negative response. So even though it was warming up slowly, there were no real no's, no real rejections in the date. I was continuing to just push it and push it and push it. But then the one thing I did get a no on is like, can we hang out more tonight? It was no, we can't because, you know, things in the morning, et cetera, et cetera. So in this particular case, I read it as it's not an objection so much as a condition. It's a condition of her situation right now that she just can't do much more tonight, or it's a condition of her worldview that like that's not the way she views it going down, and so it's going to be a big uphill struggle. So what I did in this case was I didn't get very physical. I didn't sexualize it too much. I made sure she knows I'm a sexual guy, but didn't sexualize it a ton. And then I let her talk, let her feel heard and understood, and like I cared about her and, you know, getting to know her, a little bit of sexuality, and then I just screened it and set it up for a future date. So that was the game plan here. Also notice there are a few times there are like awkward silences that we've intentionally left in. That's just to show you that it's okay. It's just to show you that even when there is that awkward silence, if you aren't awkward about it, usually it's actually more awkward for her and she'll fill it in and continue contributing. The other thing to notice is even though she wasn't responding very sexually, she was qualifying herself, especially towards the end where she talks a lot about like, oh no, at first people think I'm boring, or at first people think I'm very serious, but I'm actually fun, that kind of stuff, right? Because she was really fucking boring. And I called her out on it, and then she was qualifying herself because she doesn't want to be that boring person. And that's starting to slowly motivate her towards being that outgoing, open person where something can happen. But again, in this case, because of logistics, because of timing, and because of her blueprint, it just was always going to take a bit longer. So we just screened it for the appropriate second date. And again, notice I didn't try and escalate. I didn't try and make out with her. Just made it a strong, we can get together again kind of a vibe. And you'll notice that she was the one bringing it up, that we'll hang out again over and over again. All right, so that's how you play it if you're going for a future date rather than for a pull. Most of the time I want you going for a pull, but sometimes this will be the optimal way to play it. So I wanted to show you an example just so you're not a one-trick pony.